Les Paul Jr. or SG Jr.? Do they sound any different? Pretty much identical, well, in so many ways. It's a Billie Joe Yungblud shootout. There's no doubt that Billie Joe wins the case off, doesn't he? But this is obviously better because it's an SG. I'm at home with an SG. I'm used to it. And Les Pauls are just, they're quite uncomfortable, really. Les Paul Jr. or SG Jr., which is best? There's only one way to find out. The Guitaristas is proudly supported by Gear for Music. Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. So this week, what I thought we'd do is try and answer a question, an age-old question. It is something that I've been asked quite a lot, actually. Les Paul Jr. or SG Jr.? Which should I get, Cole? I've been asked that a few times. And I happen to have this around. It's the Billie Joe Armstrong, Les Paul Jr. in classic white, and the Yungblud SG Jr. in classic white. These guitars are pretty much identical, well, in so many ways. Obviously, they got a different body shape and amount of wood involved in that, obviously. But beyond that, apart from maybe the neck profiles, and we'll get into all that, but apart from Wood's neck profiles, they're identical. Same rig, wrap over lightning bar tail bridge, same pickup, same electronics, oh look, different knobs, same tuners. So, do they sound any different? Several questions we can answer here, hopefully, you know. Les Paul Jr., SG Jr., which is best, which is most punk, or Billie Joe or Yungblud, which is most punk. And do they actually sound any different because of the, well, is it all about the pickup or is the wood got something to do with it? Because, you know, that's the age-old question, isn't it? Is it all about the pickup? Well, given that we've got two almost identical guitars, hopefully we can answer that today. So, you know the score. I'm pointing there. No, down there. Description box. Timestamps are in the description box if you need to skip forward, because I rabbit, you know, a lot. I'm doing it now, aren't I? See? Timestamps are in the description box if you want to skip forward. Just hear what they sound like. See what my rendition of some Green Day songs sound like. I don't know. I haven't learned any yet. I'm going to go home tonight and try and do some, cry over some Green Day. Try and learn some, spit it out, Cole. Try and learn some Green Day and try and learn some Yungblud so that I can do that tomorrow when I record. Shall I get on with it? Timestamps are in the description box if you want to listen to this bollocks. Go and make a cup of tea, come back and get yourself a snack or two. Because if I carry on like this, it's going to be a long one, isn't it? Right, yeah, let's get on with it. Les Paul Jr. or SG Jr., which is best? There's only one way to find out. Right, let's crack on with it. I think what we'll do to start is weigh them, because one of the biggest differences is going to be probably the weight, isn't it? So let's find out. Start with the Billie Joe Jr. That weighs in at £7, 13 ounces, which is of course 3.54 kilograms. And the Yungblud SG, £6, 14 ounces, 3.14 kilograms. So there's about £1 difference. I was going to talk about price as well. £1 difference in weight, £100 difference in cost. This one, I had this since November 19, I've done it again, 1921. It wasn't 1921, it was 2021. I don't think Billie Joe was around in 1921, was he? 2021, this cost 449 English pounds. This one here, 549 English pounds. This was last August, 2024. So these were both really good value, I thought, and they both come with really cool hard cases. We'll have a look at those in a bit, because they're going to feed into this which is best, this whole which is best thing, you know. It's a Billie Joe Yungblud shootout, but both great value, you know, for Epiphones. You've got to say it, and I shouted about it because I really rated both of these. When you factor in the cases as well, I mean, 449 for the Billie Joe, what was a really good value, and even what, 3 years later, 549, yeah, I was happy with that. I don't think you can get either of these now. The Billie Joe did hang around in the shops for a while, and was, I mentioned it a few times over the last few years actually, it was one of the best value Epiphones you could get, you know, given the whole case thing as well, and the fact that it's a classic white Les Paul Junior. I mean, I know a lot of people don't they walk past these, don't they? They think, oh, one pickup, that's not enough. It is, I'm telling you, you're missing out. If you've not played a Junior, you're missing out, honestly. Now, I think the only other fundamental difference between these two is going to be the neck profiles and measurements. The Billie Joe here has got what they call a 50s vintage neck, chunky. The Yungblud Slim Taper C. So let's put the neck profiles and measurements side by side on the screen now, so we can have a look at how they differ. Okay, here are the neck profiles and measurements side by side. You can see for yourself the differences, I hope. Yeah, Billie Joe definitely feels chunkier, but Yungblud's not what I'd call massively slim. Both feel nice. Obviously, both of these guitars are polyurethane finish. They're both classic white. They probably look identical on the camera. I'm going to say that actually close up, the Billie Joe's got is slightly more off-white. I doubt if that's because it's older. I mean, this has been in here for like 3 years now. Don't think it's got anything to do with that, has it? It's probably just the shade that it came out, but they're both nice. Right, moving on. Just to prove that the pickups are identical, let's take the readings. I mean, when I say identical, they're going to vary by a few points, aren't they? Okay, let's start with the Yungblud SG. 8.43 kiloohms, and the inductance is 7.04 henries. Okay. Over to Billie Joe. 8.28 kiloohms with an inductance of 6.93. So it's actually a little bit lower. That's interesting. They're both Epiphone P90 Pros. I'm just going to have a look inside now, see if the wiring's identical. Yeah, they're identical inside. identical pots and cap, or they certainly look to be. Same gubbins. But thinking about it, the pots themselves will have slightly different resistances as well as the pickups. So I suppose when you combine that, having taken the readings with them in situ, that can easily account for the variation there. But my claim that these are identical is already blown. Let's move on. Now, the other thing that I noticed, and I'm going to remedy and try for the first time ever, incidentally, is the fact that the pickup heights are different. I'm not sure if that's because the action's different. Let me just check that. Hang on, let me get me gauge. Actions should be the same because I sort of play by feel. Let's check on, I don't know if you can see this, but to take my word for it, I check on the 15th fret. What we got, 3/64, 1/32, 32th, as I frequently say, 3/64. Yeah, the action's the same. So obviously with set necks, the angle can vary. And the result of that is that the pickup on the Yungblud is a bit closer to the strings than the one on the Billie Joe. These dog ear pickups, of course, they're not adjustable. I mean, they've got no actual adjustment. They're just screwed directly to the body of the guitar. So the only way that you can raise these, and you can't lower them, the only way you can raise them is by putting a shim underneath. So I have got some shims, and I'm going to try and put a little shim under the Billie Joe one now, just to raise it up a little bit, just so it's a similar height to the Yungblud one. So here are some shims that I bought a while ago, lost for ages and then found again. There you go. I can't remember where I got them on eBay or something. They're, don't know what they're made out of, plastic I think. And they're 3 different thicknesses. Hopefully you can see that on this camera. There's a thick one, a medium one, and a thinner one. Now it's not out by a massive amount, so I'm going to use the thinner one. I've never done this before. I'm going to leave the strings on. I think it should work. I don't really need to take the strings off of these, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to literally remove the dog ear cover. I might have to loosen the strings. I don't know. We're going to find out together. I'm just going to loosen the strings a bit. Capo, so they don't fall off. Right, now, give it a little room. See there? That's all it is. And it's got these little legs that just literally sit it there on the body. So really, that actually does come out, look. There you go. A hole. So, where does it go? Just go like this. Has to go obviously under those legs. Right. There it is. Ah. Right, there you go. A bit of jiggery pokery, but it's all lined up nicely. It looks all right, doesn't it? See that? yeah, so that's just raised the pickup now to a similar height to the SG, and I've still got meatier shims, thicker shims left if I want to even, experiment lifting either of them up or any other P90s. So there you go. Sorry, I got these ages ago, so I have no idea where they were from, but they look like plastic. There you go. Let's plug them in and do a bit of playing. See what they sound like. Let's do it. Right, let's get into it. Both guitars, incidentally, have been reviewed on their own. Links are in the description box. So if you want to check out knobs and stuff, because I'm not going to do that today, we'll probably be fully cranked on the guitars. Princeton 65, 1x12, as always. On the board, I've got a Warm Audio clone, and I've got the Nobels ODR one, and I'll show you if I use them. Okay, right, just a few chords on each guitar. Let's see if they sound the same. I'm using this chord sequence, I'll tell you why in a minute. Do they sound different? I know what I think already in the room. Now, these chords. So I'm doing these chords because I'm going to just turn this off for a second. When I reviewed this, I learned a fleabag song, which goes like a bit like this, something like, I'm just a fleabag, nobody loves me. Send me to rehab, somebody touch me. So these are the chords. So last night I thought, well, I better learn a Billie Joe, a Green Day song, because I haven't played any Green Day. Well, I've never played any Green Day, apart from when I reviewed that, and I did learn something. You know, they do a lot of the old power chordy stuff. But anyway, funnily enough, last night, the first song I listened to was this. And it goes something like that. I'm just looking at the words. Yeah, I don't know these by heart. Here we go. I walked an empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams. It's a lonely road or something like that. It's the same chords. What's the chances of that happening? So it was quite an easy evening. I didn't have to learn anything. It's not very punk though, is it? Honestly, it's not really punk, is it? I mean, Fleabag's not really punk anyway. I mean, he is a punk. You know, he's got the thing going on, but his music's not. Well, it's not what I'd call punk. This is punk, isn't it? This is punk. There you go. That wasn't very punk either, really, was it? It was meant to be. It started out as inspired by New York, by the Sex Pistols. But I kind of did a sort of a laconic version, but I did add a nice little reggae upbeat there, which is, that's punk, isn't it? Although the rock noodling, that wasn't very punk. But anyway, that's what you got. Could you hear the difference? I said straight away that I thought I could hear a difference in the room. On playback, yeah, I think it's, it's that. This is only what I think. I mean, you might completely disagree. I'm not one of these YouTubers that tells you how it is. This is this. That's what that is. And this is how you do this. And that's what this sounds like. It's not me, is it? I tell you what I think, and you might think completely different. What I think, and I can't describe it very well, but I think you can hear the wood. I think you can hear the wood. That's all it is, really. I think the SG being a pound lighter, and that's really all it's got to do with, isn't it? But I think, as with lighter guitars, they can sound a little bit more open. A little bit more open. I think you could hear that. But what was interesting, or what I thought was interesting, I thought you could hear that when I'm playing the chords. And I can't describe, what is it, upper mids, more upper mids? I don't know, you tell me. But you could hear that, you could hear it. But then, when I was getting, not you, I was doing it, when I was getting into the, the soloing, the noodling, and trying to get it to sing a little bit, I thought you could hear the extra girth, the extra weight in the Les Paul Junior. It just more sustained. Sorry, I'm just about to sneeze. Can I hold it in? No. Right. Spring's in the air. I think it might be hay fever. It's nice to see. It's been sunny all week. Oh, what a joy. Sitting in here filming when I could be out riding. I'm joking. I enjoy both. Where was I? Yeah, I thought, well, definitely. You could, the extra, there was a little bit more sustain, I think, on the Les Paul Junior. I mean, only, we're talking gnats. That's a gnat. Tiny amounts. But this is obviously better because it's an SG. I'm joking. What's better? Well, what is better? Well, there isn't a better one, is there? The better one is the one that you like. You either like Les Pauls or you like SGs, or you might not like either of these because they've only got one pickup. I love both of these. Okay. On stage, I'd choose the SG. That's my number one guitar, SG Junior, as you should know. Not this particular one. I've got a Gibson in the back there, which is my number one guitar if I'm gigging. I'd have a Les Paul Junior on stage. I wouldn't have a Les Paul on stage, but a Junior, yeah, absolutely. That could easily be my backup guitar. And in fact, I've got a really nice Eastman SB55 SC antique varnish, which is, I haven't got it here, or I'd pop it up on the screen there, but it's at home because I play it a lot. But yeah, absolutely, Les Paul Junior would be a stage guitar. Yeah, but they're both brilliant, and there's tiny little bit difference. The SG sounds better in some circumstances, and I think the Les Paul sounds better in others. But that was really only based on the poor quality of playing that you heard this week. So it's just a vague assessment of what I heard this week. But as I say, you tell me what you think. But really, the answer is there's not much difference at all. So get which one you get. If you can get either of these now, I'd recommend it, because I think these are guitars worth hanging on to. But yeah, they're great. Now, let's have a look at the... Oh, I'll tell you what I was going to do. I've just remembered, before we look at the cases, sorry, Fleabag. No, sorry, Yungblud. Well, sorry, Yungblud and Fleabag, really, because I constantly referred to Yungblud as Fleabag, which of course, he's not Fleabag. His song was called Fleabag. Fleabag is, of course, quite a famous comedy actor, writer, who invented talking to the audience. You might know that if you're in England. I don't know if it was outside England. Anyway, Fleabag, Yungblud, completely different people. So sorry about that, both of you. Moving on, let's have a look at the cases. First off, the Yungblud case. Here you go. It's got this, you can see that on the overhead camera. It's got this shocking pink lining. It's very nice. Neither of these have got much stuff in. This has got a Yungblud sticker in. That's that, but it's not, you know, £549 including a nice hard case, so value. And then the Billie Joe, as you can see, it's got a man being electrocuted or something, whatever that is. It's obviously relevant to Billie Joe. It's also got a carve in the top of this case. You see that? And inside, here you go. It's got this wonderful leopard skin. Beautiful. And obviously a guitar. So, it's no doubt that Billie Joe wins the case off, doesn't he? And finally, I haven't mentioned ergonomics, comfort, playability. I'm at home with an SG. I'm used to it. But let's face it, it's a pound lighter. When you're sitting down, it's in the right place. And Les Pauls are just, they're quite uncomfortable, really, you know, when you're certainly sitting down. So SG for the win all day long. Anyway, that's enough about me. You tell me what you think, SG or the Les Paul. Let me know in the comments, as always. And as always, thanks for watching. Before we go, I just want to thank Gear for Music for supporting this community. I want to thank all the subscribers over on the TV channel, guitaristas.tv, for supporting this channel. And I want to thank all of you for watching and supporting this channel and doing whatever it is you do. Watching is the top thing. Liking and subscribing and all that, if you feel like it, that'd be nice. But what is really important is that you come back next week and see what we're up to then, because that'll be really what keeps this channel going. So come back, find out what we're up to. I have no idea. So I'll see you then and we'll find out together. Yeah, cheers for now. Ta-da.